At least 2 Chinese Coast Guard's crew reportedly died in the collision between China's Navy warship and Coast Guard vessels in the West Philippine Sea, according to the report from Philippines' top officials. It can be seen on the video that there are 4 personnel in the bow of Chinese Coast Guard before it crashes. The Philippine Navy on Tuesday said it is checking reports on supposed Chinese fatalities in last Monday's collision of People's Liberation Army Navy and China Coast Guard ships in Bajo de Masinloc. The ships were chasing a Philippine Coast Guard vessel when the China Coast Guard vessel rammed into a fellow Chinese warship. Still checking, Philippine Navy spokesperson for West Philippine Sea Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad told media yesterday. Trinidad made the statement when asked for information after Philippine Senator Ping Lacson said that 2 CCG personnel allegedly died in the incident. The West Philippine Sea collision between a PLA Navy ship and a CCG vessel, while chasing a PCG vessel on a mission to resupply our fishermen near Bajo de Masinloc, reportedly killed 2 CCG crew members, the senator said in a post on X, formerly Twitter. While we are proud of a skillful maneuver by our PCG captain, we also mourn the senseless loss of lives of the CCG personnel, he added. Maritime expert, former U.S. Air Force official, and ex-defense attaché Ray Powell said Chinese ships were conducting search and rescue operations near Bajo de Masinloc. At least 1 Chinese Coast Guard vessel and 8 militia ships have been conducting search and rescue operations 15 to 25 nautical miles east of the shoal since yesterday afternoon's mishap with a PLA Navy destroyer, Powell said. Philippine Navy told media that the pattern of the Chinese vessel's movements hinted that at least 1 crew member possibly fell into the sea. These are patterns used generally when searching in the ocean, indicative of a man-overboard situation, in a statement issued by the Philippine Navy. Local media has also asked for information about the supposed Chinese deaths in the collision from the Chinese Embassy in Manila and the Philippine Coast Guard, but it has yet to respond as of posting time. On Monday, the PCG and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources headed to the disputed Bajo de Masinloc to distribute assistance to local fishermen as part of the Katawa program. Several Chinese ships reportedly harassed Philippine vessels by using water cannons, performing dangerous maneuvers and shadowing. According to the PCG, People's Liberation Army Navy-guided missile destroyer Guilin 164 and China Coast Guard vessel 3104 collided while they were attempting to chase PCG patrol vessel BRP Suluan. Video released by the PCG shows the CCG cutter with a crumpled bow, deeming it unseaworthy, due to the devastating damages. The Chinese destroyer's port left side bore visible damage and scrape marks. Meanwhile, the flagpole on the Suluan's stern was twisted in the near collision, an indication of how close the PCG patrol vessel was nearly rammed by the 7,500-ton destroyer. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian on Monday maintained China's claim to the West Philippine Sea, saying that it had to do what is necessary to safeguard their territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests in accordance with the law. The Philippines' moves seriously infringed upon China's sovereignty and rights and interests, and seriously harmed peace and stability at sea. These moves are of a malign nature. China urges the Philippines to stop the infringement and provocative activities at once and refrain from challenging China's firm resolve to safeguard their lawful rights and interests, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said. In a statement about the collision, which occurred near Scarborough Shoal, a flashpoint between the nations, the Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs said it was seriously concerned by the dangerous maneuvers of the 2 Chinese vessels, which were both tailing the Philippine ship. Their actions not only posed a grave danger to Philippine personnel and vessels, but also resulted in the unfortunate collision between the 2 Chinese vessels, the statement said. The Coast Guard did not include any reports of injuries. In response, the Armed Forces of the Philippines will hold a conference with the Philippine Coast Guard to discuss future steps and strategies to combat the continued aggression of China in the West Philippine Sea. AFP Chief General Romeo Bronner Jr. issued his statement after a dramatic incident off Scarborough Shoal on Monday morning.
Aggressive na tactics ng China, no? Ang assessment natin doon ay yung PLA Navy ship ay talagang ang pakay niya, ang objective niya ay i-ram yung ating Philippine Coast Guard. Yun rin ang assessment ng ating Philippine Coast Guard. So, mabuti na lang at mabilis yung ating Coast Guard na iwasan niya yung Philippine Navy, yung PLA Navy at yung Chinese Coast Guard. At yun nga ang nangyari. Yung dalawang Chinese vessels ang nagkabanggaan.
Hindi yata nila na miscalculate nila na tatakbo ng mabilis yung BRP Suluan. So while the BRP Suluan increased her speed, moving further away that fast, ang China Coast Guard 3104 also increased her speed. And etong si PLA Navy, it was very difficult for them to make it stop already. That's why the collision happened.
Hindi natin inaangkin ang hindi sa atin. And the Philippine government, the Commander-in-Chief, has been very clear that we will not give up 1 square inch. Your AFP has been conducting comprehensive archipelagic defense operations to secure and to protect all the way up to the EEZ and even beyond. Yun po ang nangyayari. So long as there will be the illegal presence, the coercive and aggressive actions of the Chinese Communist Party in the maritime domain, incidents like yesterday may happen again.
So, nakita natin na nagbago yung taktika ng China. Sa ngayon ay nag-deploy na sila ng ng kanilang PLA Navy, no? At isa itong simbolo ng pagiging agresibo ng China. Sinasabi nila na tayo daw ang nanggugulo doon sa West Philippine Sea, pero kitang-kita natin kahapon din sa nangyari na sila mismo ang nanggugulo, no? Because they continue to claim Bajo de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal as their own territory. Hindi naman tayo pwedeng pumayag dyan. Dahil tayo ay back up tayo ng batas, back up tayo ng UNCLOS, at yung 2016 arbitral ruling na nagsasabi na walang basihan yung 9-9 ng China. So hindi nila pwedeng angkinin ang Bajo de Masinloc.
According to Bronner, the deployment of a warship in the West Philippine Sea and a joint sail with the Philippines' allied countries are among the AFP's options in dealing with China's aggression in the region. Filipino are not alone in this region. The Philippines have other players in the Indo-Pacific. The Allied may come together to act against these kinds of Chinese aggressive actions. The United States, the European Union and Japan, a longtime treaty ally of the Philippines, on Tuesday also condemned the latest reckless action by China directed against a Philippine vessel. Meanwhile in China, almost total media blackout about the collision, no media report regarding the incident, either confirmation or denial, including the reported casualties. Global Times only posted response that a Chinese ship apparently targeted a Philippine vessel with water cannon near a disputed shoal in the South China Sea early Monday. The collision was the latest episode in a years-long contest between China and the Philippines over territory in the South China Sea, which contains rich fisheries and shipping lanes that carry about a third of global maritime trade. China's militarization of the waters and its expansive territorial claims have inflamed tensions in the region, with China and the Philippines repeatedly accusing the other of ramming into each other's vessels. Bajo de Masinloc is located 124 nautical miles off Masinloc, Zambales, and is considered within the Philippines' 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, EEZ. Tensions continue as Beijing claims almost all of the South China Sea, a conduit for more than $3 trillion of annual shipborne commerce, including parts claimed by the Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Brunei. Parts of the South China Sea that fall within Philippine territory have been renamed by the government as the West Philippine Sea to reinforce the country's claim. The West Philippine Sea refers to the maritime areas on the western side of the Philippine archipelago, including Luzon Sea and the waters around, within and adjacent to the Calayan Island Group and Bajo de Masinloc. In 2016, The Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled in favor of the Philippines over China's claims in the South China Sea, saying that it had no legal basis.